Anything else before we get it? Because like I said before we go live, I don't want to sit on these matches too long. Real Madrid, we kind of like addressed it all after it had leading up to our post match. Why do I feel like we talked about this already? Was it
Liz
Liz
It was
Stream?
Liz
Is
Stream,
Liz
yeah.
Stream?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, why do I feel like we
So
have
that-
already
yeah, old
processed all of this? And that's like, of course, nobody likes to lose. Nobody enjoys losing at home. Nobody enjoys losing at home in PKs. Nobody likes to lose at home in PKs when one of your players, does what Bernardo does. What I
Hold
can
on.
say is,
I still can't believe y'all have all that smoke for Bernardo when it is.
honestly, I actually have more for Kovacic.
Thank you.
Actually,
is
thank
the
you.
one.
I actually have more for
Kova's the one.
Kovacic.
Thank you.
I actually have more for Kovacic. I have
They
way more.
both missed.
Because you watched Bernardo do, yes, but you watch what Bernardo did. He tried a no look. So he watched Bernardo's cheeky. It was like, nope, I got my own. He tried a no look shot. It's like, bro, just fucking smash it. And it was obviously we're all still I'm saying it's me. I'm hiding my own feelings. We're all still very upset about it.
Oh no, you can speak.
But
You can speak
also,
for me on this one. Rachel Dollars all hands. I too am still upset.
I just want to point
But
out
it's like,
it wasn't a loss for Rodri.
I
By
mean,
the records, goes down as a draw.
It's a draw.
The unbeaten
That's
streak
true.
is still
That's
alive.
true.
they tried it though. What
Yeah.
did you see Madrid zone? They tried to be like, we beat
Sorry, you
Rodri.
beat us in penalties.
And the
The
Katie
third
notes was
step,
like, yes.
win, draw, loss.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
this week we learned a lot about the things that can happen in penalties in European football. So shout out Emi Martinez.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. I guess, is there a bigger picture that you have seen or have come to a realization to now that we are a week away from the match? Like, are you still kind of like in it, trying to play it through, and you're kind of like angry? It didn't hit me like Raheem Sterling Tottenham. It didn't hit me like Lyon. It didn't hit me like Monaco. It did, like there are struggles that hit harder. Like honestly, like Chelsea, Chelsea didn't. Yes, we were in the final, but Chelsea for some reason didn't hit as hard because it just felt like it fucking happens. Like what? How? Like yes, like if I was a player, I'd be gutted because you did all the running around and stuff like that. But
that hurt me.
And
Chelsea for me. I
to
finally
get
to the final, and yeah, that hurt.
You didn't start Rodri. You put Gundogan in the 6. The whole thing, the way they scored the goal. I think the no Rodri. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened. The no Rodri.
I mean,
then
Kevin's
my brain
face got
just like
broken.
checked out.
Once
that
Kevin's
happened,
face
I
got
was
broken,
like,
this match is
Oh, that was
oh
it.
yeah,
Oh,
and
Rudiger's whole ass.
like, well,
too.
all right.
I think.
Yeah.
I think the Chelsea thing. I definitely drank a fifth of alcohol that day, and that was after the match. So, but I think, and I said it to PMHFC21 on Twitter. Like, I think the way that this played out just kind of like gave you the belief that we're just like Man City and Real Madrid are going to spend the better part of this decade probably just alternating beating each other in Champions League, knocking each other out. And like I think I can be okay with that. Like like if the side that we come up against and lose in Champions League is going to be Real Madrid and we lose that every other year and this just happens to be the year that we lose. I mean, it's not preferred, but I'll take it.
I know for me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because
no, go Charlie.
I was gonna say that like
I just feel like that.
Oh my bad, Tom. I'm wilding. Crunk, cut this shit out. I messed it up so many times. Tom, go.
I just feel like that's what it's going to be because it was like it's the arguably the best team in the world against the team who has the most Champions League tradition. And I think that if as the quote unquote best team in the world if you're, you know, running up against the team with the Champions League traditions that has the most Champions League trophies and you're beating them, knocking them out of Champions League every other year, you're doing something right. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, once you win one, you know you can't win them all, but you won it. And so it's just like, it's like for me, it's a very much the equivalent of being a UNC basketball fan, right? Like I've won titles. I've won SECs, like not me, but like the school has, and I enjoy them. I don't expect to do it every single year. Now, do I expect to beat Duke once a year? Yes. Do I expect to get swept by Duke? No. And I think that's what happens in like a semifinal or a quarterfinal, right? It's like we're gonna have two legs. We're gonna get y'all one of these legs. And like if it's a draw like this time, it's because Carlo realized he can't play with us. Like that's the thing. If you really want to come down to it, to brass tacks,
We acknowledged
the
it.
greatest manager in the history of the Champions League admitted that he could not play his team straight up 11v11 and go at it because he knows what would happen. And so Real Madrid became Atletico Madrid. That's what they did at the Etihad.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tarek, I actually want to ask you this for because we hey, the match happened and we kind of when Sharpie and I, shout out to Staffy, we did his one of his shows post match, and we gave this thought where we're just like, yo, it happens. They were the better team. That's how you get those championships, and they really weren't here for that. I don't know what they wanted. Maybe they wanted more like anger or whatever, but they almost like were like it's too cheap. That's almost like an excuse. Winners win. You acknowledging that. Are you saying that Ancelotti admitted or that they parked the bus, that's kind of like almost an excuse? It's like a coping mechanism of us saying that Ancelotti, they came and parked the bus at the Etihad. Can do you feel, can we say this? Like, yes, I know it's a fact, but like,
Yeah,
are we right to
it is
like take that as almost like a not a victory, but like an
it is
acknowledging it?
a true statement that Real Madrid came, parked the bus. Just like it is a true statement that when Arsenal played us, they parked the bus. So to I think it was Charlie who called it out. Yes, there was an acknowledgement that we cannot beat them playing our typical style. Um, City's the bully on the block from that standpoint. That we come in and we are who we are, and we make everyone else adjust to us. Pep is just going to come out. Now we're going to have a game plan for an individual team, but when we have the ball, we are who we are, and it just is what it is for the most part. And so other teams are having to adjust to us to be able to have a chance. I think the part that, if I'm honest, this cannot be a winning philosophy for other teams. We have to be able to break that down. We have to find a way around it because everybody can't do it every match. But in tight title races, in knockoff competitions, it doesn't take you to do it every match. It just takes you to be able to do it once, potentially. So I think the frustration from my part is we know that for the most part, this is how teams have to play us. And we still can't break it down. We still haven't found a good way to be able to get goals. And I know, we've lost some players. Riyadh, we lost Gundo over the last offseason, and we've replaced them with newer, younger players that are still learning and adjusting. Um, but if I'm being honest, we should have worked this out by now. The fact that, and I'm not blaming Holland because it's not his fault, but the fact that we can't seem to get the ball to him consistently in really dangerous spots or play to some of his strengths more, I think is frustrating for me. But I don't think you're wrong in saying that we are the biggest team on the pitch. We are we're the top team in the world on the pitch, and everyone else has to try to figure out how they can beat us. Unfortunately, the philosophy that they've tried um, has been successful in these important occasions.
Lando, were you gonna say something?
I don't think it's necessarily quite figured out yet. Nothing that anyone has said here is wrong, but all of this is quite different if Kevin De Bruyne hits the bunny that he hits in the latter part of that game and it doesn't even get into extra time. You're right. We've struggled with breaking down guys or low blocks all year, and it's been a constant issue. And we've known about the issue. I still think, wow, it's a bit numbing from coming off the treble. It's different if we just won the Champions League and the Prem or just did the Champions League last year. It's the fact that we're coming off the fucking treble that makes this a little bit more numb for us. And I get that. But if we just look at the Champions League and the opportunity that we had there to go again, I know the body of work and the run of games, FA Cup semis, our manager has spoken quite openly about the fixtures and things like that. I get it. I'm not taking all that away. This was a winnable game. This was 100% a winnable game. And it's okay. We move because of the circumstances that we're in. But should this come up again next year, in this very exact scenario, I think that's where Tom brought it up every year losing Madrid. It's okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay. I agree with that. But to a certain point, I would hope that going into next year, second leg at home, same scenario. Football gods bless us with a run it back 3.0. If it happens, I expect us to win the game, and it would be quite disappointing if it goes out like that again.
I think this is why I love this show so much, is because we all have great differing opinions, right? Like, everyone is right. Everyone is 100% like, and not just entitled to the opinion supported. And I just love listening to things. I'm like, yeah, I disagree with that, but I respect it and it's valid. And like, I don't know, I just appreciate being in person now. It kind of all brings it together when we have these discussions, because it's like, yeah, like we see the same game different ways. Like you said, if Kev makes that beautiful cutback from Akanji, game, set, match, we got another historic moment like Gundo did, and we're on to the final, or we're on to the semifinals, and we're going to beat the hell out of Bayern Munich. But he missed it. He skied it.
And I buy a Akanji kit the same day. That ball was nasty, bro. That ball was nasty.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, it happens. And I think like perspective for me is just like, I appreciate the Champions League because of Lyon and Spurs and whoever else, Monaco. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, Monaco. Thank you for giving us Bernardo. But like, I remember that pain. So now I'm just like, yo, we won. Okay. And this bag is forever. You can't take away that trouble. You can't take away those 5 trophies. And if our double is an off year, please give me that. Please give me a double of some sort every year.
Which, I mean, to be fair, we have to go out and win on the pitch. So, I don't take anything for granted because we still have 6 games, PL games. We have the final. And I know you already have crowned us with the FA over United because you don't think United can hang with us. And I don't think in a normal world they can either. But, I mean, we just had to go out and get it done on the pitch on the day in order to get that, at least that chance for that double.
A great debate that started mid-bar, by the way. Great debate that started mid-bar with you two.
The other, so, I mean, and again, I agree with everything you said, both you, Lando, and Charlie. The idea that, it is, you can see it different ways, and that's perfectly fine. Because again, like you both brought up the fact that, hey, if Kevin hits that goal, then it's a different story. And I think where that can, because again, I think, but he didn't. And then we look at the other situations where the other team had opportunities and their fans would say on the flip side, well, if they would have taken this, if they would have done that, and we would have been like, what you didn't? And we did. And so I don't think, for me, it's like, I got to just be, I can't give myself and my team grace that I wouldn't give to another team in that moment, right? Because somebody would have been like, oh, we could have had you if we would have did this. I'm like, well, what about if we would have done all these other things that we would have done too, right? So I just feel like I understand what you're saying and I agree with it to a certain extent. I just feel like we have to be able to handle business on the pitch, and we got 6 games in the PL to go out and do that. I think it's 6 still, that we have to go and handle business if we're going to want to win this 4th in a row, or the Crunk chocolate quadruple, we have to go out and do it on the pitch. And I don't take any of these games for granted. And you see Arsenal go out today and they win, and they're applying pressure, applying pressure, applying pressure. We have to see what we're going to do under pressure, how we're going to respond. So, but go ahead, Crunk. You was going to say something else.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna keep it moving to the FA Cup because we win. It was an ugly match. Pep fucking played Rodri. I mean, he played a few people that I was like, "Hey, yo, bro, like, let them. Are you gonna rest or no? You tell me." Like, yeah, okay, Pep. Yeah,
Tell
you
me.
you
Tell me.
show you showed us. Yes, you were the boss. Like we started questioning you for a little bit, and you were like, "Shut the fuck up and let me do my job." You're right. You got this. You
Does everyone
got this.
remember where we found out the 11?
No.
It was in the Uber in the caravan, and we were listing out the lineups, and some of us were like I think Charlie was just like, oh, he's actually going for it. Like, damn, no rest, nothing. And in Spanish, I said, "Se te puede cansar cuando está muerte, pendejo."
Oh yeah.
And rest when you're dead.
He can rest when he's dead, bro. We went for that shit.
Okay. We win. We make it through, especially with all this chaos that has gone on with United. We absolutely have to win, right? Like this is like there's not and but this is the thing. Does winning mean playing our best team, or does winning mean actually resting players that we should? Like if Rodri is exhausted, because I mean, but also actually Champions League, we're out. I just man, I still need it. That still hits
Yeah,
me
it's
recoiling,
should be
like that
And
freedom
it's
that
a
we're gonna
full week
get.
after the
Yes,
PL season ends when you get to that FA Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
So like every
Mm-hmm.
match
yes.
after Spurs is a week of rest. All of May. And
Yep.
City hasn't had that in like 3 years because you've been to three straight semifinals. So like we're gonna actually see the most rested team from City that we've
Mm-hmm.
seen in a long time because you don't have those extra midweeks in May, or like the end of this month and then moving them back stuff. So like it's a beautiful
Ooh,
setup.
so I actually like this. Let's sit here. Does Pep figure out how to perfect
Stop.
KDB
No. No.
and Phil
No.
Foden in the
No.
midfield?
Is it like no? No. Like
It just isn't. It doesn't
stop
work.
making fetch a thing.
Why doesn't it work for you?
Stop,
What doesn't work about it?
because you're not like one of them has to sacrifice what they're best at in order for the midfield to function. One of them has to function as an 8, and they're not 8s. They're both 10s. And I want them to both function as 10s. And
and we're talking Phil and KDB. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, they're dual
Yes, in
tens.
the
We're
Okay.
midfield
talking
with
dual
Rodri.
tens. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Tom's right. We have not figured out the dual tens perfectly. We haven't done it.
Why do you think it was successful when we had KDB and David Silva? Because that's basically what we were running back then
because
too.
KDB was an 8 then, because KDB
Yeah, legs, right?
because KDB
Legs.
had the legs to get box to box and
Yeah.
facilitate that play. And on top of that, because David Silva was such a good read the game so well, he he
So
he
efficient.
knew once Kevin got forward, he knew how forward he could get. So I don't think that Phil has necessarily perfected that yet. And then if you know
I mean, Pep has said so.
so so there you go. That's
Mhm.
why that don't work.
I think it works, and I say this not that I have the stats back it up like I normally would. I just think it works as in it puts the most fear and it gives us the most options in the final third when you're sitting in that low block. Because if you take one of those off, you're replacing them with a Kova or a Daku on the wing. So Bernardo moves inside. Um, you theoretically play Oscar Bob, but he's a kid. He's not going to play right. So like you're taking off one of your three best players, offensive players, in my opinion. And you know, as Terry talked about, we struggle scoring against these deep blocks. So I think you need as many people to create. And so even though it's not seamless and beautiful, I think it does give us the best chance to score goals. But you also know I care about clean sheets. So these things, like, I'm okay giving up that one transition goal when I believe that we're going to get two on the other side. And so that's just like you said, like, that's the different ways to do it. But I get what you're saying about why they do have to sacrifice. But just like Holland sacrifices every match he plays with City. Like, he lived his whole career, City has been one big
Everything.
sacrifice, except for certain matches because he is not
Oh my
getting
gosh.
fed through balls every single match. There are matches we all are like passing the ball and nobody's hitting triangle, right? So every player on that sacrifices something.
I think
And I think that's where now Kevin, especially in this later stage of his career, the baton's being passed, my boy. You still the GOAT, but it's like Phil needs his. And I think Pep understands, is trying to get both of them to like learn to work together because Kevin is half a season. So we are playing catch up. But maybe May is the time where it does come together. My bad, sir.
Oh no! You talked about the through balls from KDB, and it was so frustrating at the Chelsea match because we didn't have Holland on the pitch, but we did have KDB. He's trying to throw those balls out there for somebody to run
Mm-hmm.
onto, and there's nobody running
Mm-hmm.
onto him. And it's like we had this mismatch. We needed both of them together because, again, I think nobody on our team is able or has shown themselves to be able to. Um, really just connect with Holland like that on the pitch as much as KDB does. And it's, you need to have him on to be able to run onto those through balls. And again, it looks like he may be uh, nicked up a little bit, but so that was a
And
little frustrating because KDB, he probably has the worst, I don't know if I would say ball retention or pass percentage or whatever on our team. And it's because
mm-hmm.
he's
Mm-hmm.
willing to play aggressive, line breaking passes that if they
Exactly.
don't come off, then the other team gets it back and they come back the other way. Whereas everyone else, not everyone else, but a lot of other people on our team are playing simple square balls, playing it back or whatever. And so there you can have a 98% pass percentage, but still maybe not be as, I'm gonna say, as
And
deadly as a KDB who may only have a 76 or 80%.
and I'm gonna run with that. I mean, I don't want to because it keeps the conversation going longer. We need to keep it moving, but it's just what we've all been kind of talking about, feeding Halan. And I think KDB, the only reason why he makes those passes is because he's the only one who, in that moment, goes, "I don't give a fuck what Pep wants of me. I don't care that he wants me to hold on to the ball. I think I can make this pass. And if we make this pass, we score." And there are moments where we've so many times we've seen Daku make that pass, but you hear Pep overriding him in his brain. And there are so many times in the game where we're screaming to make that pass, but you can see or you, Pep's words overriding their brain, and then they pause, made the side pass, or they turn around. We need more players with the gumption to make that extra dribble or take that shot. And unfortunately, on our team, at moments, that's Kyle Walker. That's fucking Rodri. And we want it to be Grealish, but Grealish is so fucking stuck in his head. There are players on there. It's Phil Foden. Like, honestly, him and KDB were in the midfield together, but then Bernardo's in right wing. And if Bernardo's in right wing, he's basically a midfielder. That fucks up our attack. Bernardo's supposed to be in the midfield to help make up for what Foden might lack defensively. So that should then free up Phil Foden offensively. But what if it doesn't? It's a lot that I hope gets addressed eventually. Uh Sorry.
It's one of the
What we
hardest problems to have, guys. We have to acknowledge, how do you deal with the aging superstar who is 100% cemented himself? And how do you deal with the living up to the homegrown legend and the story that's coming? This problem is one of the greatest problems we can ask for. So this issue, we love it. We have to have it. It'll work itself out. The logic deductive breakdown that Crunch did is essentially it. If Phil goes wide, we don't get enough of Phil where we want him. If Bernardo's really wide, it's a fucking fix. He's just really coming in and field to hell out because of he's lacking what Phil brings as an 8 and tracking back. All of that stuff is good problems because where we are and how we've managed to succeed this season so far, it's been pretty good. You know, two out of the 3 is what we wanted, and we still have the post treble double is what I want to call it. So it's fine. You know, post treble double it is, and it's a great problem to have. Let's just embrace it. 7 games left. That's wild. We can. It's 1 week left in April, and we know the amount of games left. We haven't had that like in a long time. So
it's just us. It doesn't matter that Arsenal scored whatever they scored. Liverpool do whatever you want. You can't affect anything because Arsenal, you didn't want to play. Y'all were right. I will give you credit again. Y'all called it out right away. Arsenal did not come to play that day, and they will rue that moment, and they will probably learn from it. So Arteta, thank you.
And I don't want to sit in this moment, but you let Lando get off post treble double without a bat of an eye. Like y'all didn't question that at all. Like that. Like that. Like
it's literally
a word
post
treble quadruple is 4 in a row. Oh my god, you got me throwing just bringing
would
them
be
stuff
just
now.
winning 2 trophies
oh my god.
in a season post the treble. What part of that is hard?
4 at the same time.
Quadruple is 4 in a row. It's 4
concurrently.
League titles in a row.
The views and opinions.
Crunk is making his argument like we don't necessarily agree with him. I'm all for what
bring it back, but it's like you use English.
That's why he says it.
You use
That's
English
why he
words,
says it.
and he made up his own.
The views and opinions expressed by Crunk.
No, it is a
The views and
quadruple
opinions
though.
expressed by Crunk Chocolate does not reflect that of Shades of Blue.
That's the perfect disclaimer. I need to get that for myself because that's what it is.
We need to get the disclaimer recorded. That sounded amazing.
The year after the treble, and what would you win? Double. Post hyphen treble space double. Yeah. Quadruple literally means that you won 4 at the same time.
4 in a row.
No, that's called a 4-piece.
It's called a 4 concurrently.
Hey,
4 concurrently. 4 years in a row. It's back to back to back to back.
No. Question. If you go to the store and you have
it's 3 straight years
and you have 6 drinks back to back to back, is that the same as a 6-pack? Because a 6-pack, you buy one thing and you get 6 at a time.
No, it tracks because he's saying they're different things.
It's absolutely tracks.
When you have to go,
because one is 6 at once and one is 6 in a row.
Exactly. You get one thing that has 6 in it. One season with 4 trophies
but again,
in it.
In the end, we're just arguing.
But that's the whole point. That's what words are.
Like,
words are semantics. That's the point.
Does it matter? Why does it matter? No, it doesn't. Words, it's magic.
But you know what's funny?
Literally whatever you. That's the beautiful thing about English is you can just call things bomb, and all of a sudden it means good. Like that's what I'm saying. Like how can we as people do the things that we do with language for you guys to hear quadruple to then be like, nope, doesn't work. So, that's the only thing that like. My brain doesn't compute, where it's just like, how can we be so wide and open and mindful? And
actually, what is Frindle? This is a book where he actually tried to start calling pins a Frindle. And this is what you're doing. You're being creative. You are the creative of the group. So thusly, I respect it. It's your Frindle.
Frindle doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. You just said words mean nothing.
That again, that has nothing to do. It's just gibberish.
So it's a quadruple meaning 4 in a row. But that's your gibberish.
If you,
yes, it does.
To all of our listeners, whenever you listen to this episode, post in the comments, post on social media, post wherever you can, get our attention and let us know, is Crunk Chocolate right that you can call it a quadruple because words mean whatever you want them to mean?
Don't do that.
Or
that is not what I'm saying. Oh my god! Now you guys, wow! This is what you guys see. This is what I'm saying.
What's the whole point?
That's literally what you just said, though. You just said it. I was awkward until we're yeah. We have to hear.
We should be able to call things whatever we want, and they should mean what we
words are just. Yeah.
You got mad at me saying post treble double.
I'm saying we have the creativity.
And said, how's that not right?
I didn't get mad. I'm just saying that you didn't bat your eyes at. You didn't. Sure. I'm also hamming it up on the show.
Okay. Now we're hamming it up on the show. I couldn't tell.
What I was going to say. Yeah, what I was going to say is I genuinely, I think Crunk believes what he says, but I think because it causes such an issue for so many people, he chooses to continue to double down on it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know what?
Oh yeah,
I
no. If
might
you
be
guys would
wrong,
have
but
been
I'm
like,
going to say
yeah,
it
quadruple
anyway.
works, I would have moved on. Yeah, I would have moved on. You're right.
Yeah, Charlie, with Charlie bringing up the two-peat, the three-peat, the four-peat, like that's an American thing though. But you're right, that's what we call it. That's what I would call it. Like it's the four-peat. If
Like
no
just
one,
because it's called a fort, like who cares? Like who cares? But
okay,
obviously
so
you guys.
but,
Obviously you
well,
guys.
no,
My
but
bad.
He's a
you're
My
saying
bad.
teacher. He's a teacher. He gets
I
paid
literally
to
went to
care.
school for this shit. I went to school for
clearly.
this
The
shit.
rest of us are
This
just
is my
pricks, and we
crutch.
want
So
to call you
like,
out
this is
on
what
it.
I do well. I read and write so well. So
Call it a four-peat. Like, do you hear how
exactly,
you sound though? That's what I'm just
yeah,
saying.
I
Do you
sound
hear
like
how you
accurate.
sound though?
I sound
Call
accurate.
it a four-peat. Like it's
He sounds
that
like a teacher.
Yeah, it's a four
Oh.
P.
four-peat. That's not a
It's a
word either
phrase.
though.
Oh, but that's
Quadruple is actually.
terminology.
It's an
That's
accepted
yeah,
Oh
sports
my
phrase.
god.
No,
People look.
yeah, three-peat,
It's
four-peat.
there.
I've
You
seen
go.
it.
Accepted for praise. Who cares that it's
but we
not
also know
accepted?
what a
I don't care
quadruple
that it's
means
not
because it means
accepted.
something before that. The four P only means one thing. You're trying to switch the meaning of a word. Literally, that's what you're doing.
But it's the
Like
first
you're
time
trying
it's
to
ever
switch the
happened. It
meaning
doesn't
of a
mean
word.
anything.
Four P is new.
I'm not. I'm saying it can mean two things
So
throughout it.
anyway,
It
guys,
So
can
did
mean
y'all
multiple
know that
things.
Manchester City Women's Football Club has won 13 matches in the league in a row?
Thank you.
13.
Hold on.
yes,
I need a
Okay.
dance
and the
because I'm
and
tired of you
yes,
guys. Why won't my team love me? Why won't they support
Because you're
me?
wrong.
Why am I all alone? Oh my god.
Oh god.
Tell mom one of those baby blue patties do it for
Uh,
this.
13 is my personal favorite number. But I hope they keep on stacking up those wins. Sometimes you worry sometimes about having such a long break with an international break. There was a FA Cup break in there that we're out of, and so you weren't sure what we were going to do. But when you score a goal within 24 seconds of the ball kicking off, like you're usually doing things right. And then when the Golden Boot winner then scores a brace, within 25 minutes, you're going to win that match. Which is exactly what happened. Layla Wahhabi scored her first goal in a City shirt. And you could tell how excited that she was. Also, I think it was dope
Right.
that they went and held up Sandy McKeever's kit, since she's out with a ACL injury for the rest of the season and probably a good part of next season. Um, Bunny did score a brace. However, it is being reported by Catherine Battle that Bunny has broken her foot. As MCWFC Stats pointed out on Twitter, is like, that's weird because I always thought a bunny's foot was supposed to be good luck. Um, um, Also got Laura Blinkilde Brown got her first goal in a City shirt as
Hey.
well, and got a goal contribution from Spark Jess Park, again player of the match. Just I
Little magic trick
oof,
also.
yeah.
Post the goal.
Yeah. So I'm this this city. Oh, and even a great performance by Kiara Keating to keep the clean sheet. Had one or two very very important key saves in that match. Um, so that was really what you wanted to see from a team that is in the champions in a championship race. So they are now yeah.
Hold on. Can we? I want to stay somewhere and be a little messy. I know we're running late. But CK came on for
Mhm.
Bunny, and Gareth Taylor was doing everything he could to get her hot and interested in the match and successful. He had her inside, he had her left, he had her right. And I don't know, the way that this team is now, I'm not saying there's not a need for her, but she needs to figure out how to impose her style in whatever we're
So
doing
I
right
would
now.
say what's happening is that she is used to being the chance creator on the pitch. no matter where she is, and she's usually on the wing. With Jess Park on the pitch, Jess Park is now the chance creator, and she is the fulcrum of the attack at this point. And I think that you will notice that Chloe Kelly's lack of playing time, I guess for lack of a better term, has come since Jess Park has started more matches. And I don't know if it's not necessarily that they play in similar areas, um, and it's not necessarily that their styles are this all all that similar. I can't really explain it too much other than like Chloe Kelly has been used to being the chance creator for Bunny Shaw, just putting in crosses to the box and like maybe finding a few nice threaded through balls. But she is having problems playing with Jess Park, which is really weird to say. Um, Now that being stated, with Bunny off, like potentially out, that's something that we're gonna have to figure out 3 matches to make it work. Chelsea has a game against Liverpool midweek to catch up. We are still top of the table. Chelsea does have a game in hand. We do have a this match was big because it was important for us to have a big score line against one of our opponents to get that goal difference. So now we are up on goal difference by 3. Um, I think it's interesting that both of us both have to play Bristol, so you can kind of count that as a wash. And
Everybody eats
yeah,
B.
yeah, exactly.
Everybody eating.
So then so they play Bristol, we play Bristol, but we still have to play Arsenal, which is gonna be
Yeah, and they're starting to play some good
yeah,
football.
they really are, which is that's gonna be scary. So
Well, it's easier when there's a little bit less play for.
yeah,
So
that's very true. That's very, very true.
a couple weeks ago, Tom, you had the awareness and the wherewithal to, when I posed to you, how should I feel about the GT extension? You and Charlie were quick to be like, "Oh, this is good. We're solidified." I could make an argument with the circumstances that are, with Bunny out and the games left and the circumstances that we are. Holy shit, this is about to get juicy. From an outside looking in, losing Bunny, the games left, and Crunk pointing out to the lack of chemistry and what we have in the front line when we don't have a Bunny or a Chloe Kelly, these are problems that don't present themselves next year. Now they're presenting themselves now.
he,
And so,
he's definitely
what do we
he's
have?
definitely earning he's gonna earn his contract this with these 3 matches. Like that, there is um no bones about that. Like he is going to earn his money um, in these 3 matches. I will be interested to see on Sunday how much he actually like goes for it. And because I think that he knows that we're gonna have to put up a big number against Bristol because we do play Arsenal, and Arsenal's not just gonna give up 4 goals. So that we can run up the goal difference. And Chelsea's last 4 matches are in the league anyway, are Liverpool, Bristol, Spurs, and United. And, like none of those are names that are like, oh gosh, that's a team that could make them drop points. Like the last team that they played that could make them drop points was Arsenal, and they didn't do that. So
What I will say is, at least Man City women, it's not necessarily that they're going to get their games out of the way, but we're going to Chelsea, because of their situation and all the games that they're playing in, they're going to almost always be chasing us. And that is an interesting and positive situation. Obviously, hopefully, we got Bristol play. So, how are you feeling about this match, even with the team that we have? We should win. Do you think we are still going to be able to run it up?
I yes, I do think that we will run it up. I think that this might be a match where Coombs gets a quick hook. Like she'll probably start, but it would not surprise me if she only plays till half, and then you put LBB on the pitch, mainly just because you want to score goals, and you see the way that the team plays when both she and Jess Park are on the pitch, and like they are go.
Hungry.
Like that midfield is go, and like and you do see like Yui has to adjust to that a little bit. Like, oh, like okay,
Uh-huh.
like I need to make sure that I'm taking up the best positions as opposed to better positions that I normally take up.
I know, right?
But I mean, but when you have one of the better midfielders, holding midfielders in the world, that's not necessarily that's usually not something that you're super duper worried about. Um, and I think that this match will be big in that since Kirsten Kasparov was suspended on some bullshit. Um,
Bullshit.
Bad, good.
that, yeah,
Bad,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So that's apparently
I say both are good because you're also doing like a bit of like the lighter skin and the darker skin. Both are good to me.
That's what I was telling Salt. I was like, literally, I purposely do this because it's the black hand side.
Yeah.
So like, me going there and like I'm doing the peace sign, but it's also like respect to like my blackness. And a lot of black people, we do the peace sign like this. So it's like
Culture.
it's one of those like
hmm
innately
hmm
yes, right? And it's like this is accidentally anti-black, and I
yeah.
low key hate it.
Anti-black or
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
It's a
on
learning
purpose,
lesson
but
for
like
me.
so
because
yeah, apparently
and I'm
this
not
is
and
like
like and I know that that
this is
word
offensive
this is an
in the
offense. Yes,
yeah.
this is offensive. This is not offensive. This is offensive.
but this isn't like a racist thing. It's just offensive just
Just generally
generally.
No, it's just
yeah,
to
yeah.
Brits.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying black
This
people
doesn't even feel comfortable
Yeah,
for me.
no.
exactly.
This is just so. I mean, I don't
Let's
even know why
go.
balloons went up off top of my screen. I don't even know what happened here. Whatever, but yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, go ahead, finish.
So having Kirsten Kasparov back starting will be important. I th- it would not surprise me if we do some interesting three back stuff and just let Kirsten run up the pitch. And even if it's just like there, I have seen the argument made. I don't agree with it, but I have seen the argument made amongst City Women Twitter that Alana Kennedy has actually been our best defender this year. Um,
Whoa.
I'm
Yep.
I
There's stats to that.
no
I'm down to have the
Like when it comes
conversation
to
and look
just
into the
when it comes
analytics.
to no, I'm with him. I'm with him. When it comes to just defense, Greenwood, she does put us in some situations, and we have openly admitted that in times when you need to like close people down, Greenwood can be trouble. It's
Yeah.
just, but it's just specifically just like defense. It's like specifically just like getting in the way of the ball, moving people, heading the ball away.
Oh, it's Meanwood at moments for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Alana Kennedy, no, she's ace. Like that's her thing is specifically defense. But
yes
when it comes to city
yeah
football and the way that we
like
play, no,
I
that's
mean
Greenwood.
no
Hmm.
it's Laya Alexandria. It's like she's
Well,
to me
yes, yes, but you
she
know what
has
I'm
been
saying.
the best defender for City.
Yes.
Um, but I could see some combination of the three of them playing together in some sort of back three, and then I don't know, like um, nominally
Mm.
start Kasparai or Wahhabi, but knowing that they're gonna drift into the midfield in Wahhabi's case, or get further up the pitch in Kirsten Kasparai's case. Um, so I do think that this is. I'm going to go ahead and call it now. I'm touchdown, Man City.
Oh, touchdown.
Wow.
We
Even
talking about like
Yes.
with the extra point
Bunny.
or just the touchdown?
Yes.
Extra point.
Oh
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. Thank you,
okay,
Charlie.
Yeah.
okay. I
Wow.
was happy before. It was great to me without Bunny,
Whoa.
but he said
Yeah.
bristles.
I mean,
Wow.
there's a reason
Basura.
that they're going to get relegated. Like, I mean, I mean, all credit to Bristol. Like, they, they,
Yes, respect, obviously.
Bristol is a last place side that will actually play. And that's probably why they're in last place, just because they don't have the talent to play the way that they wanted to play, the way that they played in the championship. Um, but I, I still think that we are in a good position to just make them pay for wanting to play. And even without Bunny, we're still going to have that speed with Lauren Hemp. We're still going to have that craftiness that Mary Fowler has. We're still going to have that dogged mentality that Jess Park has in the midfield, just to make us go forward and go. I do see us scoring 7 goals in this match.
Let's go. Honestly, I'm just gonna ride with you. I'm just gonna go on it. Let's 7 train. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to add on to it.
I'm on the 4.
Yeah, I like it. Let's go. Let's figure it out.
Charlie's going with a quadruple of goals. Had to.
Why you got to bring up old stuff?
Had to.
Right.
Had
Oh
to,
my
Papa.
God. It's so good. Thank you, Lando. I'm gonna
Had
cash
to,
up you,
bro.
dog. I owe you a beer.
You
Dead ass. I'm about to cash out this man right now.
It's okay, Crunk.
Yeah, what happens when I don't keep the conversation going? Yeah, no, y'all take over, huh? Since obviously,
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
what?
Finish the episode.
Yeah, that's perfect show, bro. That's perfect show. I'm sorry, bringing it all
One
back.
last note on
Why you sending out
Stop
money?
it,
Go ahead and
Charlie.
send it my way,
Stop
too.
it. I'm turning it right back to you. Do not do that.
one last note on
The hate on the show is real insane.
one last note on
Wow.
Chicago. Now Tarek again is one of the coolest dudes in the room. He's probably been one of the coolest dudes in the room for all of his life.
Pause. Stop. Because the setup means you're about to come for me. But go ahead. I'm ready for it.
I want to say thank you for being the sober guy.
Building me up to tear me down. Go ahead.
Tarek is the one who during the match, watching the match, was probably the most nervous of all 5 of us.
Yeah. He was just quiet in the corner.
But
at times,
because there was a couple times where he's like, "Come on, Kyle Walker, you can't do that."
Yes. And he's sober.
It wasn't just Kyle, but yes.
Kyle Walker.
But yes, it was. Yeah,
They were tired, boss. They were so tired.
And I get it. But yet, if you're on the pitch, and he shouldn't be tired. I mean, well, I guess he did play the other night. I mean, again, if you're on the pitch, if you're on the, he's been out for 8 years. He should be fine.
He's like 120 and then a full 90. Oh my God. Hey, that is way worse than my hate for Quadruple, bro. That's a different level, bro.
No, actually, I don't even hate.
I know you don't hate him.
I don't hate Kyle Walker at all. Just like I didn't hate Riyadh. I do give him a little bit of grief because I know you were a big Riyadh fan, so I kind of gave him a little hard time. But I just have high expectations, and you're our captain, and so I expect certain things from you. I won't go too deep into this because we're about to get off here. But yeah, I have high expectations. And yes, to your point, there are moments when I'm watching the game where it gets frustrating, and I let that out.
Can we do a part 1, part 2 of this episode? Because Chicago deserves its own bag, and then the football banter, because they're very separate. They're both very special. Yeah. I know this is extra work for you. This is my one plea.
I mean, not really. It's
just
not
to
too
spice
bad.
that bad boy, because this is a beautiful moment. But it's like doing 1 and doing 2. You couldn't watch it all at once. You got to cut it somewhere, and then you can enjoy it.
So there are 2 moments I want to say for the record. On Friday night, we had a joke about Dennis O'Leary. Crunk killed him because he thought he was Richard Lewis from Your Enthusiasm.
Because we were watching Robert Hood Men. Hold on. We were watching Robert Hood Men in Tights, and then the King pops up, and I'm like, "Isn't that whatever that dude's name is?"
Yeah, Dennis Leary.
I was like, "That's Dennis Leary," and I said it with the most confidence. And Lando tried. He was nice. He was like, "I'm pretty sure that's not Dennis Leary," and I was like, "Nah, bro, you're wrong. It's Dennis Leary. You can look it up." And he looked it up, and he's nice, and he's like, "Okay, that's one person you've killed. So like let's just put that out there. You've already knocked out one just random white person, and then there was another one. Like I feel like right
I
after.
got that one for you. But wait,
Okay.
hold on. So moving
Okay.
forward, from Dennis Leary, I said moving forward the whole weekend, any random white dude we see is just Dennis Leary. We leave it there. Saturday night, we're at the bar, I think, meeting up with Charlie, and some dude just walks by, and Crunk looks at him. I look at him because we have hockey on the main screen for some reason, and we were wanting the other games, whatever. So the guy walks by, we're looking at the game, and I just look at him. I was like, "Can I look at you?" He's just like, "Yeah, it looked kind of weird." I was like, "Was that Dennis Leary?" perfect name drop. The other confusion, Crunk, and I'm sorry, I'm getting out there.
No, it's fine.
Don't bash Crunk not too hard. It's an honest mistake. Who does Zendaya date? Go ahead. No one say names. Me and Crunk will be quiet. Who is
No, bro, we're not
Zendaya
doing this.
Tom
currently
Holland.
dating?
I mixed. We're not doing
Did
all
he
this
say
stuff.
Tom Holland?
No, I mixed up Tom Holland and Timothy Chalamet. I mixed them up. I was like, yeah, it's so crazy that Timothy Chalamet, he does all these things. I don't pay attention to these people like
Okay.
this. I don't
He
watch
did
their
So all of
movies.
this, so,
I was like,
I'm not
so
out
all
here
of this,
caring
so
like
all of
this.
this goes back to Charlie's point about the like where Lando was just like they were playing hockey on the main TV in the bar where Charlie goes, "Oh, this is a very much a two Americas moment." Like this in and of itself is very much a two Americas moment because I think if you just brought together five white dudes and like started talking about like Morris Chestnut and Michael Ealy and et cetera, like they would all get confused. Like, I don't know, yeah,
The
that
best
one
man
guy,
cast.
he's dead.
Best man cast. They don't know the difference.
Yeah, none of them.
Oh, the best
None of
man
them.
cast, right?
Oh god.
I
it was
mean
beautiful.
well. I mean well. I am so sorry. I mixed up. I already
Timmy and
messed up.
Tommy.
Forgot
Timmy
their
and
names.
Tommy.
Like, bro, like that's
Mr.
just
Willy
me.
Wonka and Spider
Yeah,
Man.
Timmy and
yeah,
Tommy.
man. Timmy and Tommy. I'm not watching the. Like, man, Spider Man, Willy Wonka, like they're
Call
the
Me by
same
Your
dudes,
Name is an
right? Like,
amazing
you
film by
know,
Timothy
they're
Chalamet about 2017. Go check it out. Call Me by Your Name. Beautiful film.
like, yeah. I'm actually really happy I didn't say these things around Sharpie because Sharpie, the movie person, he probably would have really killed me. Lando, you were tactful. You were very nice about
It was such a fun time.
it. Oh man. Okay, show bros. Okay, Brighton, Nottingham Forest. Either of them gonna give us struggle, beat us. Are we dropping points?
No, we are not.
City over Brighton 3-1. City over Nottingham 3-0.
I'm with Tarek.
Ditto.
Fan
I
that
love
salute
that.
emoji. Let's go, Tarek.
I gotta stand on what I said with Sony last night on the Breaking Bread episode. We're gonna win against Brighton 4-2. It's gonna be a bonkers match. Um, and then as far as Nottingham Forest, um, they're gonna be too busy complaining about the refs to like stop goals from going in the back of their net. So I got 5-1 in that match as well.
Okay. No, I'm with 3-1, 3-0. I'm not gonna add on anymore. So what do? Do I do episode 98, 98 and a half? Because I can't do episode 99 because then we lose 99.
Do
I like that.
98.1, 98.2. No, I'm just kidding. 98A and 98B. I don't know.
Yes.
I'll figure it out.
Just 98 part
98
1,
part two,
98
yeah.
part 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Perfect. All right, cool. Shell Bros, please plug yourself. Let people know how they can find you, listen to you. Always
Follow
with
me
the
at
good things.
Sharp.
Read your tweets.
There's
You all right, bro? I feel like you was in a rush to spit
it's,
that
it's,
out.
Hey, I'm trying to
it's
get
the
out of here
fourth quarter.
too.
It's the fourth
I mean-
quarter. That's why he's in a rush.
At Tarek Peterson.
Yeah, if there's a social media app that you can find me on, it's TomBomb816.
Shades of Blue NW at Shades of Blue NW. Get at us. Go look at the socials. Fun dope videos dropping on our visit.
I can't wait to
trick
see y'all
win?
cats again in North
Yes.
Carolina.
Facts.
We're gonna have some sober fun. T.
Go Heels.
No, do you? Do you?
Oh my gosh, the Trick Williams win. Oh, I cannot wait to watch the NXT when I get done. Shades of Blue NW on all socials. You know the vibes. Shady Gang.